A live look right now inside Canada Life Centre as the final regular season home game has just concluded. A huge 6-2 win for the Winnipeg Jets over the San Jose Sharks. With this being the final home game of the regular season, it is fan appreciation night here, and it is jerseys off our back. So some lucky fans that were randomly selected earlier throughout the night will be getting to some pretty sweet and no doubt sweaty game-worn jerseys from the Winnipeg Jets. Hello everyone, I'm Sara Orlesky. Happy to have former NHLer Trevor Kidd meet Trevor. So final regular season game, a lot of talk obviously about the way that the Winnipeg Jets have been playing of late, what they need to do in order to get into the postseason. Check another box, another step closer to that magic number and that X beside their name to get into the postseason with a dominant win tonight against the San Jose Sharks.
There was a lot going on. I mean, at the end of the game, obviously, we saw the wave again. We didn't see Neil Diamond, but we saw the Go Jets go, and a very spirited one by the Winnipeg Jet fans. That was a standing ovation for over a minute to end that third period. So certainly a fan appreciation. The fans appreciating the effort, to me, the Winnipeg Jets have put in here in the last week or so. Tonight's game, again, another dominant victory. San Jose, a dominant victory, but finally they don't get goalied by James Reimer again. And San Jose started out in this game. They scored early with 20 seconds, but from that point on, San Jose, I think, only mustered up about 6 shots about halfway through this hockey game. Winnipeg played a real good game. There was a ton of structure here. Certainly, it was a lot of fun from an offensive perspective. They did, as you mentioned, what they had to do here with games remaining. Certainly, Calgary yet to play tonight, which is going to be a huge game. Winnipeg will now leave just after this game and head to Minnesota for 2 more road games, which could be very big.
To conclude this season or to conclude the regular season. So huge games that I just love watching. So it's going on behind us, obviously, as we're up in the press box right now. You can see it kind of on the scoreboard. I just love seeing the smiles on the fans' face. I mean, we talked about what a great atmosphere it was inside here tonight.
Look at you see the young kids with the big smiles.
Fan for life.
But what about the older kids with the big smiles?
Those ones might be just as good. I love seeing the excitement for it. I mean, the opportunity to have their pictures taken, obviously the jerseys. Look at that, just a thrill of a lifetime to be able to go down there. So always a great moment, but you mentioned, I mean, the Jets are off right after this. It's going to be a quick post game for these players because they're going to want to get onto the plane right away with the back-to-back games.
Get a meal in, get some rest, get to the hotel, and get ready for 2 big ones, right?
Absolutely. Still, we will take you, as always, inside the dressing room. We are expecting to hear from Adam Lowry as well, but let's talk a little bit more about this game. You mentioned 20 seconds in, Erik Karlsson, tell me if you've heard that one before with the Sharks scoring, gets them on the board first. And I've got to admit that there was that sense of, oh boy,
no. Here we go, right?
Yep.
And it was a nice play. I mean, San Jose started off the game with that play. Winnipeg got caught with a turnover at the goal line. San Jose capitalized with some speed through the neutral zone. Winnipeg lost a little bit of coverage here on the defensive zone. And you see Karlsson sneak in there behind, and I mean, that player is, giving him that opportunity in tight. He can score from the blue line, as we saw later in the third period, giving him a chance opportunity there in the slot. He's going to make the best of it, and he did on that one. Yeah,
but from that point on, I mean, the Jets just really, they rolled with it. It was 3 goals on 8 shots for it. It was 3-1 after 20 minutes, and it was the power play of all things to get the Jets on the board first.
Well, we saw this here throughout the game, and it was this the bumper play, and it allowed Winnipeg to really create some openings. And for that middle player, you see Ehlers working here, he looks high, but that play there specifically down low, you saw it 5-on-5, you saw it on the power play, working it down low, then finding that low slot, that mid slot type, or that middle player finding that soft area. Winnipeg certainly capitalized that, and the amount of offense that Winnipeg created in that exact danger zone here, it's not a surprise the success they're having in the offensive zone, because guess what? They're working the middle part of the ice. They're finding their chances in that middle part, low, mid, and high at times as well, whether it be the redirect, the traffic, or just clean, chances like we saw there on that goal.
And 2 power play goals for the Jets this game, and one of the things that we've seen more on the power play is motion, something that we hadn't been seeing a lot. I mean, one of the big criticisms with the power play had largely been, regardless of who was on it, that it was stagnant, especially that first unit, in terms of it was very slow,
right?
For it. But now we've seen some more motion.
Yes, I mean, you're not seeing, it went from trying to find the motion from the top of the circle in, but now you're seeing guys move around, and you just saw that. For the longest time we've been saying, please don't do that seam play, it's not working, it's not working. But when you start creating offense in different ways, like we saw in the first one, where you're working at low to high, where you're working at high to low, finding that middle player, you start breaking down the PK, and you saw that here with San Jose. They just didn't know what to do. They didn't know if it was going to go low. They didn't know where to track, find players. You start seeing that interchanging. Then guess what? The seam starts to open up, and you saw Winnipeg capitalize on it with that. Kyle Connor was in and around the blue paint a ton tonight. I haven't seen him play like that in and around James Reimer, in and around the opposition's goaltender. But he also, you see him, he can make a play like that, make a pass, got it over Scheifele. He didn't hold it, he one-timed it. Reimer had no chance.
Yeah, absolutely. The Jets mentioned being able to get 6 goals. The 2 earlier meetings against the Sharks had won both of them, and it was by a combined 6-2. So the Jets really able to solve Reimer on this one. Goals coming, as mentioned, from Dubois, Adam Lowry, Kyle Connor, or some Mason Appleton, Josh Morrissey, and then Scheifele finishing it off on the power play as well. We will talk more Jets moment. We do want to give credit to Erik Karlsson. Both goals coming off of the stick of Karlsson, who continues, despite the struggles that the Sharks have had this season, has had a remarkable season. He hits the 100-point mark. He's only the 6th different defenseman to ever hit 100 points in a season, and first since Brian Leach did it back in 91-92.
So it's a long time. And after this goal happened, I leaned over to you because there was a bit of a celebration. Okay, the game is 5-1, I believe, at this point. This goal makes it 5-2.
Yeah.
And there's an oddly bit of a celebration at the San Jose bench. And then certainly you see the players hugging Erik Karlsson, and I leaned over, gave you the nudge. I said, okay, we need to capture that, make sure that we have this right. And certainly enough, it was that 100-point mark, as you mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. Okay, while we wait for players, let's take you through some award winners for this evening as well, and for this season. It was announced, with this being the final regular season game, some of the team awards that were given out for it. Your 3-star award winner should probably be no surprise. Number 37. How many times have we seen him come out and give his post-game celebration for it? So a very deserving 3-star award winner. Most first stars when you look at Connor Hellebuyck throughout this season. Then we have the Wawanesa Insurance Community Service Award. That goes to Blake Wheeler for the 2nd time in 3 years. The work that he's been doing in the community, along with his family, his wife, Sam
impressive.
Wheeler, as well. So kudos and congratulations to Blake and the recognition that he receives for that. And then the Dan Snyder Memorial Award embodies perseverance, dedication, and hard work without reward or recognition, goes to Adam Lowry. And I think that when you look at the play overall of this team, has obviously been much better in recent games, but think that Adam Lowry and his line have certainly helped set the tone for the group for it. Being able to contribute on the score sheet is one thing, but also just the way, the structure, that was our key word tonight, the structure, when you and I were talking about the structure that line is played with.
And you think back, certainly the Winnipeg Jets over the last, couple weeks really have found their groove here and a little bit of the swagger. But you'd have to say, if you go stretch that back a little bit further here, and you see in some of the great work here by that line tonight going to the net, they created so much chaos in front of James Reimer. The redirects, you saw all 3 guys driving the net, just being a real pain in the butt for San Jose. Look at the defending that they're trying to do here to keep just swarming the Jets, and certainly the Jets being equal to the task. There's 3 of them there, the 3 forwards in and around the blue paint, and finally it ends up in the back net. But I go back to, certainly the as a whole, the team in the last couple of weeks has really found, again, I mentioned that swagger. But if you go just before that, you're looking at Adam Lowry on that line and his work ethic and the battles and the compete, and we're constantly talking about that's what you have to start with. You have to start with the work ethic. You have to start with the compete, the battle, and then these other things will just find their way. And he's certainly been leading the charge in that way. And all three guys you mentioned, the award winners, the interesting part, whether it be Hellebuck and the 3 stars, I think he's won that thing over the last 5 or 6 years.
It'd be hard to top him.
Right. Wheeler in the community mentioned 2 of the last 3 years. Adam Lowry certainly in his time here with Winnipeg. All 3 guys in those awards are very consistent in their approach, both on and off the ice.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, congratulations to all of those award winners. We still have celebrations going on. We've got
Still
some hooting and hollering.
Right.
I was just going to go there. All right, but let's head downstairs. Wearing the headset for us tonight is Adam Lowry. There's still some big celebrations, Adam, going on the ice right now. When you look at this win for your group, another key important 2 points as you get closer to securing that playoff picture. What is it for you that you liked most about your team's play this evening?
Yeah, I think the response after giving up the first goal, obviously that's not how you want to start a game, going down 1-0 20 seconds in, but our power play came up huge and answered right away, and I thought we really carried the pace of play for the next couple of periods, and for the most part on this homestand, I think we've done that. We've dictated the pace. Our forecheck's been great, and we've moved the puck up through the neutral zone quick, and it's going to need to continue if we're going to pick up some more points on this road trip.
One of the things, Trevor Kidd's joining me now, and he and I were discussing the structure, the look of structure within all of the lines. Do you feel as if, in terms of style of play, that we've seen a little bit more maybe consistent structure in terms of execution as well?
Yeah, I think we've kind of had a little more consistency with our line mates the last several games, and sometimes it allows you to kind of really get on the same page on the off days, talk about what you saw in plays from the previous game, so what you can expect the game moving forward. I think sometimes when you bounce around a little bit, sometimes the reads are a little off, and you can kind of be discombobulated, and it shows. I think each line kind of has different strengths, different weaknesses, and for our line, that's getting it on the forecheck, that's using our size and kind of disrupting and getting in on the cycle, getting puck back to the D and kind of crashing the net. So I think you saw it on the goals we were out there for. That's kind of how we're going to score, and then you see some of the other lines and how they create and their creativity and the playmaking that they can make off the rush. So I think we have a lot of guys complementing each other right now.
I love that you use the word discombobulated. One of my favorite words, hands down, for Adam. So.
I was wondering if it was going to come out right, to be honest.
I love it. I love it. From now on, I'm gonna give key words to try to work into every post-game interview for you. Just quickly for it, I'll let you go, but I wanted to get your reaction. You were named the Dan Snyder Memorial Award winner for this. It's decided by the hockey operations coaches management for it. When you look at your game and your impact with this team, where do you hope you've made the most impact this season?
Well, I think, I just hope my teammates know that I care about them, and I'm going to try and bring my best effort every night, and just the consistency in my play. Whether the puck's going in for me, there was a stretch where I forgot to score for a couple months, but I want them to think that I bring a good attitude to the rink. I'm ready to work, ready to have some fun, and at any time I'll have their back out there as well.
All right, good luck for these next 2 games. Thanks so much for joining us, Adam. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Sarah.
Discombobulated, I tell you, one of my favorite. It was very for it. It was very, when sometimes, whether it be on the TSN broadcast, we would give each other words that we wanted to work into a broadcast. The challenge, the challenge tonight going into this game.
Behind the scenes.
That's right. Sarah? The challenge going into the game tonight, we want you to try to work in this word, and it would always be something that would be a tongue twister, or something a little bit obscure.
Somehow try and embarrass you on
well, you got to make sure that the brain's trying to always firing. Got to keep people on their toes. That's right. Okay, let's head into the dressing room. It's time to hear from Josh Morrissey.
To give up that goal 20 seconds in, what was kind of the feeling on the bench?
There's 58 minutes and 59 minutes and 40 seconds left, to go or whatever it was. So I don't think there was really much of a letdown or anything like that. We know we're playing great hockey right now, and we're a confident team, and we just got back on on the horse.
Yeah, and obviously to get the goal by Pierre-Luc just seconds later, and that kind of sent you guys off to the races, didn't it?
Yeah, a huge goal by the power play. Obviously, a nice play there and great shot by Doobie. But that's what the power play can do for you. And we needed it to step up there. And after that, I felt like we took over the game.
There's a sense lately that no matter what happens, you guys won't be denied, and you can't get goal late if you're playing as well as you are. Where does this come from? What does it feel like?
I think we're playing with a freedom since we got back off the road. For this entire homestand, we got some nice rest, which was awesome after a tough stretch of road hockey. And, I think the noise, there's been a lot of noise around our team, whatnot, and probably rightfully so at some points in time. But, for us, we looked at it like, hey, we've got an opportunity here. We've got 5 games at home and then big 2 road games to try to get our way into the playoffs. And we've still been in the driver's seat throughout that time. If we take care of our business, that's all we have to do. I think we're playing free. We're playing aggressive and confident and on our toes, and that's what makes us a great hockey team.
You mentioned the noise and stuff. Has there been kind of a galvanizing time for you guys here under this adversity?
We've been dealing with the noise since January, right? So I think, like I said, it's a change of perspective now. At that point when we came back, I guess there's 7 games left, and let's go after it, right? There's no time to wait now or anything like that. So we've been battling all year, and we got a huge 2 points tonight. Obviously, we still control our own fate, and we need to take care of business and on this road trip. But we're playing free and confident.
You're down to needing 1 point. Doesn't sound like a lot, is it?
Obviously until you get that point, it's you're chasing it, right? There's no sense of letting your foot off the gas or satisfaction, anything like that. Until you have that check mark beside your name on the standing sheet, we got to keep fighting and pushing for it. Tomorrow will be a tough game. Minnie's battling to try to stay in the hunt for the division, so they're going to play hard, and it's like I said, the best part of it has been we control our fate. If we win games and get the right amount of points, we control our destiny. So we're going after that.
Josh, just one more.
We mentioned that the Jets have a flight to catch tonight as they head off to Minnesota. So let's quickly head into the Matt Frost Media Center to hear from head coach Rick Bowness.
No, that's what we've been preaching for a while. Just stay in the moment. You're not going to win every shift. Things aren't always going to go your way. Next shift up, get us going the other way again.
Rick, is a win like tonight extra sweet in that kind of everyone had a piece of it? You got scoring kind of all around the lineup, and it wasn't just one line or one player, right?
No, it was 6 different goal scorers. Helly was good when we need him to be. The power play the last 3 games has looked really good. Although we haven't scored in those last 3 games, it's looked a lot better than it had earlier. So it was nice to see the power play get a couple tonight. It was unfortunate we gave up that penalty kill goal, but penalty kill's been good all year. So, but we need that balance. You're going to win, especially in the playoffs. You need that balance. You need your bottom half to contribute. Lau's line, even though they gave up that first goal, they came back with a great effort after that. So, it was good to see 6 different guys score. We need that.
Change the mindset at all, or is it a struggle to not change the mindset now, knowing you just need 1 point? Like, you don't go into tomorrow's game any differently, do you?
No, we've been preaching the last little while. Stay aggressive. We're going for it, and we're going to stay aggressive. And the last couple of games here, we've been very aggressive. We've been setting the tone, setting the pace, and that's when we're at our best. And that means both sides of the puck. That means not giving up a lot of chances. That means pressuring them all over the ice, and that's Winnipeg Jet hockey when we're doing that.
Won 4 of 5 here and 7 of 11. 6 of those 7 against non-playoff teams, though. Peaking now at the right time, or is it a little early to say you're peaking?
Well, there's only 2 games left. We need a point. So peaking, not peaking, all we got to do is focus on that game tomorrow night. We know the importance of that game. We know the importance of the next game. So right now we're feeling good about ourselves. Again, it goes back to the balanced scoring that we're going to get. The D scored again tonight, which is huge for our team. So, but again, tomorrow night's going to be a different animal than playing the San Jose tonight. They're going to be a lot tougher opponent than the San Jose tonight.
So you don't want to say that team that was up in the Western Conference is back. You don't want to say that just yet.
No, listen, that doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is going and giving our best effort tomorrow night. That's what matters. That really, all the rest, this 4 again, we won 4 to 5 and all, that's all great. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is how we play tomorrow night. That's what matters.
Josh Morrissey said that he feels like you guys are playing free. What does that mean, and how are you doing that with these games meaning as much as they?
They're confident with the puck. I think that's what I mean. We're making good plays. We're really making good decisions coming through the neutral zone. When there's nothing there, we're putting it in a place where we can forecheck. When we can make the plays, we're making plays. And again, our D are up, and we got everyone involved, and all 4 lines are rolling the way we need them to roll.
Rick, we talked about Josh Morrissey a lot. Just how would you put into words the season that he's having?
He's having an incredible season. Good for him. That's what we talked about. So, there's a lot of talent in that young man, and his skating, his puck ability, his hockey IQ. There's a ton of talent, and we're seeing it now. How good of a hockey player he is.
Just a quick one on Erik Karlsson, too. You've been around the game a long time. For him to become the 6th defenseman to hit 100 points, how would you put into words the...
Oh, he's a special player. You know what? There's a lot of guys in this league that are worth the price of admission. He's one of them. He's fun to watch. Highly skilled. You love his confidence. You love his swagger that he plays with. He's not afraid to make any play. He's not afraid to get up with any rush. You got to love the way he plays now. He's got to be able to do that on a winning team here eventually, right? He does. But you love watching the guy play. I love his creativity. I love his confidence and his swagger that he plays with. But again, he's got to, at some point, you got to do that on a really good team that has a shot at the Stanley Cup.
Minnesota's had your number a bit.
Pardon me?
Minnesota's had your number a bit. How much of a mental hurdle is that?
Well, that being said, we played on one of our best games of the year was against Minnesota here a couple weeks ago. We just dominated the game. Fleury stood on his head. So, and I know we caught them on a back-to-back. We played terrible in there. And the 6-1 game early in the season, that was an awful game. The other game here was even. It really was. The score, they won, but the way the game went, and I was looking at it yesterday, as a matter of fact, that was an even game. They just scored, we didn't. And the last game in here, we dominated them, and they know how well Fleury played. Now, tomorrow night, all that doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. You put all that aside, and you make sure we bring our A game tomorrow night. They play tonight, we play tonight. Yeah. Now, they left players at home tonight. They didn't bring everyone to Chicago. So that tells you they know how the importance of it, and we know the importance of it. It should be a hell of a game. Thanks.
And one of the keys to tomorrow.
How's that for a setup?
Huh? One of the keys to tomorrow? Aggressive. Be aggressive. It's all I could think of. I don't know. Maybe I spent too much time around kids' sports lately.
I love it.
Be aggressive. All right. It's falling flat. I get it, Trevor. You could have at least humored me. That's fine.
I'm laughing.
I'm
not sure with you or at you.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm used to it. All right, let's look at the remaining games for the Jets, as mentioned. 2 huge games to finish this off on the road. Division rivals, a lot at stake. I mean, there's still, not only for the Jets, who obviously have to get that 1 point out of those games for it in order to clinch it on their own for it, but certainly with Minnesota and Colorado both having something to play for.
Well, they're both fighting
well.
for first in the division, or you could argue in the conference, depending on how the next few games go. So both teams, at least at this point in time, have something to play for, including obviously the Winnipeg Jets.
Absolutely. Okay, quickly, before we look at final standings, where they're at right now, I wanted to get very quickly your opinion on, there's still so much play as to if the Jets get in that second wildcard spot, who would they face in the first round? But likely it would be Vegas, Edmonton, or Colorado. Is there one of those 3 that you would like to see in terms of a matchup that you think best suits the Jets?
Oh boy, great question. I mean, the crazy thing is, if you would asked me this question 3 weeks ago, probably would have said, does it matter, right? But the way the Winnipeg Jets, and Paul Friesen asked the question about who they've played of late in non-playoff teams, right, 6 of 7. With that said, however, how they're creating their offense, how they're playing, you hear them talking about the fun, the swagger, playing aggressive, doing the right things. This team is completely different at the moment than what it was 3 weeks ago. So with that said, if everything is equal, to me, you have to, I don't think I'd want to play the reigning Stanley Cup champs. I don't think I'd want to play the Edmonton Oilers for a few reasons. I would look to
By process of elimination.
Probably Vegas. And the reason with their goaltending, if you were to just say, again, we know what playoffs is, and we know how important the goaltending position is
Absolutely.
when it comes to the playoffs. And right now, Vegas has, to me, a big question mark in goal.
For it. I think a lot of people very intrigued as to obviously what a first round matchup would look like for the Jets. They do, though, still need that 1 point in that battle with Nashville and Calgary, who are actually playing each other right now. As of this point, still in the first period, Nashville with the 1-0 lead right now over Calgary for it, but that is what the standings look like at the moment. The Jets, not only do they need, do they have the lead right now? I mean, Calgary and Nashville would need to win. There's a number of different numerical computations that you could put there in order to figure that out, but really at the end of the day, the Jets can control their own destiny.
Win tomorrow and they don't need to worry about anything else. Life is good. Let's get ready for the sea of white.
Well, you look at what the energy, and I've talked about this a number of times throughout this homestand, 4-1 is what the energy was elevated from the crowd. It has been a ton of fun to be in this building. It has felt like playoffs. When you're sitting there, you get excited looking around thinking, I cannot wait until next week, remembering exactly how special the whiteout is and what the energy is like. But that is it that is our final home regular season post-game show. Trevor, it has been so much fun having you on this season for it. I also want to thank Derek Meach, Rachel Clinton. Big thank you as well behind the camera to Adam Kruger, Daniel Moss as well. Couldn't have done this without all of you, but make sure that you stay tuned as always as we take a look at these final 2 games on the road, and then hopefully next week we'll have a lot of playoff coverage for you. But that is it for us tonight. The Winnipeg Jets off to Minnesota. We are off to our respective homes. Call it a night. That is it. 6-2 Winnipeg Jets, the final here. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been the Winnipeg Jets postgame show presented by Budweiser.